Okay. Hello again. Welcome back. I had to click off my milk. I don't have any tonight, so I have coffee. I don't have a PNG or image for that, so unfortunate. But how's everyone doing? Thanks for stopping in again. So we're gonna be working on Golgari, specifically with Mosswood Dread Knight, and probably Huntsman's Redemption, because I'm really interested in that card still. And if that fails, we're going to go back to Gruul because I've really been enjoying playing that. First of all, what is this? I got some mail the other day. Um, oh, it's just go watch a thing. I don't really want to watch that though. What else do we have? We have some packs. So if you're following on Twitter, you probably know that I played an RCQ again yesterday, as per usual for my weekends. I chose to play Domain Zoo because I like a lot of the cards in the Zoo deck in general right now, both the scam, Domain Scam, and just Domain Zoo. Um, so I chose to play regular Domain, and it was pretty good. I lost one match the entire day. Unfortunately, it was just one of the ones that mattered the most. But, you know, those are the breaks. Let's start with the lands here. Alright, so I have 5 rares. Oh, this might not work out. I have 4, 4. Okay, so yeah, this might be a little rough. I'm gonna have to buy some packs. Ugh. Oh man, I got Craft Land. More waste too. Yuck. Alright, so save and exit. Yeah, that's fine. So my first match of the day was, and this is after I don't think I've played this deck in its. I don't know if I've ever played Domain Zoo. So the way my day started was I saw a friend that I don't see too often walk in late and had to make some budget considerations for his deck, and that was cool though. He still made top 8, so all's well that ends well. Alright, let's do 3 of these. This is me trying to open Mosswood Dread Knight, by the way. And I played against Murktide. I mulliganed 5 game 1, and won because they also kept a 1-lander. So that was unfortunate for them, but worked out pretty well for me. And I won that too. Postboard was me just kind of paying attention to Blood Moon. Let's get 6 more off the gold. I should just be drafting. I might do a draft actually, but probably not right now. Let's open these first. So I played Murktide and won fairly easily. That's excellent. The store was it was a very small event. It was 19 people, which isn't a lot considering we were the kind of the overflow RCQ. It was only a 1 slaughter. The metagame was like very strange. It was like a lot of Tron, a lot of just like a lot of 2-ofs of like decent decks like Hammer, Dredge, Murktide, those kinds of things. And so round 1 I played against Murktide, beat them. I played against someone I know from my regular store, and they were on Prisontron. They're always on Prisontron though, or quite often are on Prisontron. So open this. It's pretty cool. I beat them. Stubborn Denial happens to be very good in a lot of these matchups, which is one of the reasons I really like Domain in general right now. Okay, so those some pretty good packs. Let's go to the deck. So I won against Prisontron. Also, just all the burn spells are very good against them. And sorry, as I kind of zone out a bit, trying to put all the cards in the deck. And I think you just play all the pains. And then you can probably be a Mutavault deck as well. So we're going to do 1 swamp, 1 forest. to besiege you. I think I want to build this really similar to the red-green deck. Um, yeah. So what else? What else? I played against Prisontron, beat them. Then I played against Scam. It was my Scam opponent that I played in the finals as well. Excuse me, and we'll see what goes from here. Sorry, thinking as I'm looking at all this. Now I can start putting cards in. So I played against Scam. We went to 3 games. There were some awkward lines from them that they had to take. It was like Thoughtseize, take a binding, see a bolt, exile, or Thoughtseize away the binding, evoke fury. They did a not dead after all. I bolted. They had to have a second undying card that they did have, and they used. I feel like I had to make them use it though. I don't think that was like the best exchange for me, but I think it was pretty fine, all things considered. Let's start with some pushes. And then we can start with follow up with some Thoughtseizes. And what else? So that was that. But I won that. So I won round 3. Next round I played. Next round I was 3-0, so we could have easily double drawn in 3-0-2. I decided I wanted to. I didn't go in expecting much that day, so I wanted to play for seeding. So I sit down across my opponent. They offer the draw. I say, no, I would like to play. I'd like to play for seeding. I know they're on Hammer. I don't think Hammer's a bad matchup. So they win game 1, and then they do something strange where they offer the draw again after being up a game, and I say, no, I'll live with my choices and continue to play, and I won the following 2 games, and then I don't think they were too happy, but you know, that's what happens. So, and they knew the matchup was bad, and I knew they knew the matchup was bad, and they were probably hoping that I thought the matchup was bad for me instead, because very few people would win game 1 and then offer the draw going into game 2 and 3. That's just extremely weird. So that made me a little suspicious. I think I've seen that guy around over the years, so I'm not too fond of him. He was very tiresome to play against, in being very kind of anal over how you resolve things. I was trying to shortcut and play pretty quickly. They were tapped out. They were completely tapped out. I had 3 mana. I went Binding Scion, Binding Your Giver, and they requested that I wait to resolve my spells in order. And so that was kind of how that match felt the entire time. So I was really happy to be done with it. And then what else happened? Last round I played. I was paired against someone I knew, and I knew they were on Tron, and I was fine being top seed at 13 points with a draw, so I offered the draw. They accepted the draw, and we kind of moved on with our lives and walked across the street and kind of spent our time like that. So that was pretty fun. And then in the top 8, I was paired against Scam, whose game I watched as I returned, and that was pretty close. They were actually playing against someone who hadn't played in a while, and they were playing Mosswood Dread Knight, which is part of why I want to try Mosswood Dread Knight tonight. Also, I have liked the card the entire time, but just haven't had anything to do with it yet. I think Huntsman's Redemption, or whatever the saga is called, the green one, has a lot of potential kind of with what we're doing here. And with Mosswood Dread Knight, I want to play with it specifically. What am I gonna do? Where's the Shieldreds? Where are my Shieldreds there? Two of those. I think one copy of the end, put the others on the side, just because I like the end a lot. I wonder if I want something like Foulmire Knight, so I just have like a random thing to sacrifice to Huntsman's Redemption, just like one more thing. It might be overkill because I want to make this a Llanowar Elf deck as well. I don't think I want to be a Leyline deck. It's difficult. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but I know a lot of the cards that I want to put in this deck so far. So anyway, I played against Scam. I won the first game, and then the second game was playing a little more carefully, especially being on the draw. At one point, they made a comment. They think because I was running through what they could have and what I have to play around out loud. They said, "I think you're overthinking it." And I said, "I don't really think so. I think this is my game to lose at this point." So, or it's my game to win. I just don't want to like throw it away, you know. So, do I want Meat Hook? I don't think so. We want Agademes. One Agademes might actually be pretty good. Do I want Gorger? I don't think so. Might be a good one-up to get late. That isn't like too much of a cost to have early. So we played that. So anyway, we played that round against Scam, and that was pretty. That was fine. And then I played against my friend on Tron. I got to be on the play, which was kind of my entire plan. Playing in round 4 is. Ooh, I can play Haywire in this deck. Yeah, these elves. So in the Scam, or not the Scam, the Tron domain matchup, the Stubborn Denials were really good, along with any of the 5-power creatures. It's really kind of understated how good the like 4 and 5-power creatures are in some of these matchups. Being able to get down a Scion, also Sign of Draco, when you think your opponent is going to Blood Moon you is really nice because unlike Territorial Kabu, whose power and toughness will fluctuate depending on if they have Blood Moon in play or not, where once they play the Blood Moon, it's only going to count your basics and Mountain for calculating power and toughness. Same thing with the Shoba Brawler. But if you put the Sign of Draco into play, it's just always a 4/4. So kind of a give and take where it's slightly smaller, but flying and having a static 4/4 is pretty good for what you're trying to do. I'm looking for Scavenging Ooze right now. I know it's not going to be with the bees, but I also don't know entirely what I want this deck to look like. So, okay, so there's the Dread Knights. I'm missing 2 of those. So I'm missing 2 Blooming Marsh, 2 Llanowar Wastes, and 2 Dread Knights. But I think I can get Dread Knights still, just opening packs of Wilds. So I'm definitely not opening packs of whatever Kaladesh set this is, and I don't want to open packs of Bro. Let's play against Tron. There was an interesting turn where I just attacked for 9 and had my opponent at 6. They cast Oblivion Stone. I have Leyline. I have 4 mana available, so I'm able to hold up Leyline Binding, Bowmasters, and Lightning, and I can cast them all. My opponent casts the Oblivion Stone. I say, okay, we passed to the end of their turn, and I cast the Binding. They have no idea what they're actually supposed to do in this situation. So with the Binding, I'm going to put 3 of those because Terra's been really good for me lately. I play the Binding. They let the Binding resolve. The Binding targets the Oblivion Stone. They activate the Stone, which is pretty much exactly what I wanted because it puts them dead, which destroys my Binding and my Kavu and my Scion. I then am able to cast Bowmaster, shoot them, put them to 5, bolt them, put them to 2, and then I have the 2 power in play that I'm able to kill them in the following combat step. So I liked that. Things just lined up really well for me there, but I think I just have a lot of cards that are good against them. Like I have Lavinia, I was playing 2 Lavinias. Going forward, I would probably only play 1 copy. A lot of people are just on 0 copies, so that's I don't know. It was like maybe fine all day. I'm not sure. I didn't play against a lot of decks that I would want it in. I think against Greentron, that's like the only thing I would want it against. I tried boarding it in against Prisontron, but it felt like it backfired a lot because it just didn't do anything. All their cards are a lot cheaper, and they just kind of abuse casting a lot of uh, cheap spells rather than putting all their mana into things like Big Karn and stuff. I kind of see why people are a little lower on Lavinia right now. It just seemed very minimally effective. Almost kind of a waste, to be entirely honest. And that's a shame. What else am I trying to do? Ooh, Nissa. I only have one, though. And I don't think she even finds anything here. She finds, like, Meta Elves. Because this is a human. Insect, that's a zombie. That's a Phyrexian. Ooze, that's a human. Yeah, it finds basically nothing. Mm, where is... Oh, it starts with the. Yeah, there it is. There's a lot of sagas that start with the. There's like a bit of a naming convention faux pas. Could play Tireless Tracker. I don't think this is very good, though. This is probably never going to do what I want it to do. And I don't even know what I want it to do. Um, I think I want to play. I don't know. Like, I think I want to have like maybe like a very small, kind of like set of things to tutor for, and otherwise I want to be like this knight adventure deck maybe with elves to kind of glue it all together. Fatal Push might be kind of not what I'm looking for. Maybe I want them in the side. And I can put these kind of away. The first Agadeem is probably fine. Huh. I'm unsure. Maybe I go down on a Mutavault because we're a little bit playing a longer game. Could go down on a Lair. I don't know, maybe I will try like just Black-Green Adventures. If I want to play just Golgari stuff, I can always play a Seek's Chariot. I'm gonna put a Seek's Chariot over here just in case we can't make adventures work. Because we have the... What is this? Okay. And then after I beat my friend on Tron, I played against Scam. Again, I was on the play. He just turned 1 griefed both times. I kept pretty solid hands of like a 6 with 2 lands, 2 threats, Bolt Binding. They took both answers with the grief, both the Bolt and the Binding. Game 2, I kept 3 lands, 2 threats, 2 Leyline Bindings. I got griefed. They took 2 bindings. That was kind of it. I'm sure I could have played differently in game 1. Game 2, I think I just did my combat incorrectly. I think I should have played more defensively and kind of kept deploying threats and set up like 1 large attack instead of trying to continually attack 1 creature. I think that was a major mistake that I made. I'm sure I didn't sideboard perfectly either. I left in Ragavans. I know they have Bowmaster. I kind of thought maybe on the play it's a little more excusable to leave Ragavans in because with the way their turns usually work, the creatures tap so you get a free Ragavan shot in. And if they're not evoking and scamming on turn 1, I think that's probably favorable for you. But again, I don't know. I still think the deck has a pretty reasonable scam matchup, despite the fact that I, lost one of the only games that mattered, or one of the only sets of games that mattered. But either way, I would play it again. I think tomorrow I'm going to play the Domain Scam deck again and make some adjustments. After playing regular Domain and playing the Scam Domain deck 1 time, I think I can make some reasonable adjustments now, especially to the sideboard. Terra Sunder has been very good for me. A green exile effect that you can kick in the late game to just do more stuff has been pretty good. It's something I want to see very often, and it's really good Blood Moon Insurance while being live against other cards in the deck if Blood Moon never shows up. And I want to try Tasigur because it's another 5-mana card, so in the Scam Domain deck, it triggers Beanstalk, but also in the regular Domain deck, you're not doing anything with your graveyard. So just having like a potentially 1-mana 4/5 with Scion it has lifelink and has other things to do with it in the late game. I think that seems pretty good. I think it's going to be probably at its best in the Scam Domain deck because triggering Beanstalk for 1 mana, as seen by Leyline Binding, is pretty good. I'm not sure where it's going to go or how many I'm going to play yet, but I think it has like a decent shot at being good. Okay, here's this. I'm gonna find these. Yeah, just black-green adventures. The thing about black-green adventures that I noticed when I was playing against some of the other random decks over the course of the last week or so that are trying to do random adventure strategies. I played against Naya Adventures the other night. I played against, what was it, like Sultai with Mosswood Dread Knight the other night. It seems like they just kind of don't have an end game that comes together half the time. So that's pretty difficult for them. So I think being able to do more than just draw a bunch of cards, I think, is kind of what the deck needs. So I think Huntsman's Redemption might be like one of those things that can kind of pull it all together because the third chapter is really powerful, and the second chapter probably either throwing a Dread Knight away who you can immediately recast is like really good for value, and being able to just go get maybe some of the missing pieces, considering you're kind of dependent on Innkeeper. Like, it seems like it might help. And just the 3/3 is fine. It just like puts something onto the battlefield that is like a reasonable size. So this is only creature. So this does not trigger off of things like Virtues. White Virtue is very good. I almost wonder if maybe we can play like a third color in this deck and just play like the White Virtue. I don't know what other color you would even want. I've also seen people do things with like Blossoming Tortoise, and that seems pretty poor to me. I think you have to dedicate a lot more effort and just like slots to Blossoming Tortoise. Filter for gold cards. I've got the Tear. Got Lurgoyf. What else? Trophy. I don't think I need Trophy for this deck. Dread Knight for sure. Tend to Pests is pretty cool. I don't really think that's where we're at, though. Glissa. Okay, I do have 4 Glissas. This is another thing, like with the original Huntsman's Redemption Dread Knight deck that I was working on. I wanted to have 4 Glissas in the deck because I think giving this the overrun with Huntsman's Redemption I think is very good. I think this card is already very good on its own. It seems just very difficult and an answer. Now, understand that that's not me saying that it's impossible to answer, but I think it's pretty tough. I think this like Dread Knight, Huntsman, Glissa, and then these elves could be a core. Maybe you're able to even use Nissa Ascended Animist because it can find Glissa now. Maybe you can just play 1 copy. I'm unsure. Because like turn 1 elf, turn 2 Nissa, untap, you can make 5 mana. I don't know if you can actually do anything with 5. So maybe not in this format. Maybe you can do something with Glissa Sunslayer and Nissa in Modern with fetch lands. But your dorks are pretty vulnerable there. Although you do get Halfling. So then your Nissa and your Glissa are uncounterable. Ooh, Putrefy. I'm gonna play Putrefy. That kills artifacts and creatures. Glissa kills enchantments. It's pretty cool, I think. I don't know if Putrefy is good enough. But I like that I remember it's there. Ooh, Binding is pretty cool. This is the binding everyone's talking about, right? I really like Death Sprout. I know a lot of these cards aren't in my opinion, super playable in Pioneer right now, but I still really like them. Someone played Binding against me earlier today. They destroyed a permanent, they got a forest, and then in their own upkeep, they Aether Gusted while I was on the Gruul deck. They Aether Gusted their Binding to the top of the deck, so they could replay it and theoretically get another forest on Chapter 2. I thought that was really cool, and probably a lot better than gusting my own permanent, considering they could just, you know, reset their binding and do it again. What else are we doing here? Find her off Nissa. It's pretty cool. Prexies you control get First Strike Death Touch. It's pretty good with Shieldred. Also, Shieldred gaining the trample of Huntsman, I think, is actually very has a lot of potential as well. I don't think I'm going to play the Garrick. Makes Wolves, though. I don't think that has any bearing on anything, but it's kind of cool to note. Okay. I definitely think I'm just grafting Blooming Marshes and the cards I'm missing. That would be all of my rares, so I've been so into playing black cards that I don't have to craft too many spells. And I have a mythic now, so I can craft a Hazoret for the other deck, which is pretty cool. I like that too. Everything's kind of coming together. I've got a lot of lands in this pile, though. 25 plus the Agademes, so 26. We have a lot of varied mana cost, though. Excuse me. Okay. Not collected, collected. Adventure. Okay. I have all of these, all of these. I really don't have 4 Murderous Rider? That really surprises me. I thought I did. Gumdrop Poisoner is really cool. I don't know if this card is good enough right now. Got the Innkeeper. I've got Valmire Knight. This card might be really medium. That's the one thing that's keeping me from playing like some sort of black-green adventures deck, is I think the cards are just like not good enough. I don't think I didn't make enough tokens for a Seek's Chariot either. Maybe I do, because this is as many tokens as the Gruul deck makes. 3/3 and cats. There's no human token from the Lovestruck Beast, but I don't even know if that matters. That's never a token that I'm actually considering playing. Alright, so maybe I don't need Innkeeper, because I only have 6. Yeah, so maybe I can just cut Innkeeper altogether. Just have this Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, 2 Elf start to go into my 3 drops of Huntsman, Glissa, some number of Murderous Rider, which is probably a pretty good tutor off of Huntsman. I think I want the lands to be all dual lands. Chariot seems like maybe it's not good enough here, and I just want to kind of have a Shieldred endgame. And then these 2 tutor targets, I have Murderous Rider. Are there any other random things I want to be able to destroy? Glissa's just very good. This definitely feels just like a deck that maximizes Glissa. And I think that's a decent spot to be. Might want to go to a 3rd Rider. 3rd Shieldred. Cut this. Do I want Agademes? Is the first Agademes kind of free? I have 4s, 5s, 2s, 1s. It might be like kind of medium. The first copy does feel fairly free though. So I think I can cut a layer. Is there anything else? It's a little weird to opt for Shieldred over, I guess, like Blossoming Tortoise. It's kind of informed. I think Blossoming Tortoise is good, though. I think this deck is looking to be a little more heavy black splash green. So it might be just fine to not. And I think it's going to be a little more, like, less aggressive, a little more controlling, because so I can afford kind of like some of the weaker tutor targets, like a main deck Haywire might. It could be a trap very easily, but sorry, pardon me. Drinking some water. I think this is going to be pretty cool, but I think a lot of things are cool. This is going to be black, green, Huntsman. Because this is really the card that I've been thinking about the most in the format. And just in general, ever since playing with it in the Gruul deck, it fills so many roles and kind of does so many things. Like, makes a body, gives a little bit of selection, gives you something to do with the elves that are pretty poor going into the mid to the late game, where you don't need as much mana. Like, being able to, like, turn an elf into, like, possibly a Shieldred and cast it that same turn, I think is really strong. Like, a turn 3 Shieldred that you didn't have to have start in your hand, like, in your hand at the start of the turn is pretty strong. Also, a deck that maximizes Glissa, I think, is pretty powerful. I don't know how good Stormcloud Vanguard is going to be now that we cut the Edgewall Innkeepers. It might be better just to have these as like Outland Liberator, especially if we have an Agadeems, because then we have a good 2 that we can bring back. Outland Liberator does have some non-zero amount of upside. I'm trying to think if Outland has any bonuses over Haywire Might. Haywire might just be me playing too much Modern. It might be correct just to have, like, maybe the slightly more aggressive creature in there. Cut these. Because I already have the Terra Sunders. I don't need additional... Hello. I'm so happy you're here to watch. We're working on something new. Let's look at the gold cards, because I'm trying to remember what's actually on Explorer. Like, what they actually put online. Oh, I don't own any Fiend Artisan. That's a shame. Okay, Golgari Charm. Can I do anything with Golgari Charm? I don't think so. Maybe I want Assassin's Trophy just to hit everything. I wish this was a good Deathrite Shaman deck, but I really don't think there is. I think I would need a lot more stuff like Grimflayer and the like to enable the mana ability on Deathrite Shaman. I think this is just going to come up short too many times. Unless it's like my 9th through 12th 1-drop, where it's just doing a Grim Lavamancer impression most of the time. Yeah, Trophy's pretty good. Status might be decent, actually. Giving Death Touch to a Dread Knight is pretty good. I think that's just redundant. Like, I think it's just a little unnecessary. I think we're already in a pretty good spot with those cards. Is there a good removal spell I could potentially play in black and green? I don't entirely think so. There's... Yeah, I don't want to go too high on like random tutor targets, but I think this is like a pretty good spot to be. Like, find some of the best cards in our deck, find a removal spell, find Dread Knight if the game is looking like it's going to be a bit of a slog, so we can start kind of grinding out the value there. Liberator Ooze are fairly free, I think. It's a shame that we don't have like a Klothys for black and green. I wonder if there's like a creature that is pretty similar in practice, like maybe Gitrog Monster? I don't think so, though. Maybe a single copy of Deathless Knight. Oh, maybe Gumdrop Poisoner is reasonable to have, because I have Shieldred, I have Rider. What if there's... I'll have to see. I'll have to see how this all goes. Driven to Despair is a card I've always liked. This might be a pretty decent spot for it as well. With how many elves I have, this might be something that can actually push through a board stall. But I'm unsure. Maybe a single Finality. Pretty decent modal spell. I don't think this is a good Witherbloom command deck. I don't think a lot of decks are good Witherbloom command decks. This might just be it. Maybe I can play a second Agadeem's Awakening. Also, at this point, I need to figure out the sideboard. We're just gonna put Duress. Oh, I have to spell Duress correctly. Let's do 3 copies. I have my copies at the end. What can I do against aggressive decks? This might be like maybe Color Ritual. I saw it looking through some of my stuff. This might be good against aggressive stuff. It leaves my big pieces that I kind of want to keep around. Maybe just 1? Might be a little slow, but it does let me immediately redeploy. So we're going to play some number of Calling Rituals. I really have no idea what I want the sideboard to look like. So we're just kind of winging it right here. Guess I play a couple Pithing Needles. Do I need Graveyard Hate? Like a couple Hearse? Hearse might be good. Hearse. 2 Hearses in the sideboard. I'm unfortunately locked out of playing Jagantha because I'm playing Rider and Shieldred. Agadeems could take it or leave it, but maybe I'm less aggressive, and because I'm more of a long game deck, I'm not looking to be something like a Lair of the Hydra deck. Maybe I can play Restless Cottage. Put a couple cottages in the deck. Have kind of a decently sized manland so it can just get fatal pushed. 1 Lair, 2 cottage, 2 vault, 1 Agadeems. Gotta figure out what to cut. I'm not super into Takenuma in general. I think I undervalue it. But I also just kind of need spots. Maybe I can cut Lair. I have plenty of untapped green sources for turn 1 for an elf. Also don't want to be too biased in one direction. So I can cut a Lair. Just have 4 manlands total, a bunch of spell lands. So that is 25 lands. That's still a lot. I might be able to go down a little bit. Maybe I can cut the Takenuma. It just never impresses me. It's probably decent to rebuy some of these options, but nah. I can cut that. And I'm still in 24 lands. 2 of them are tap lands, which is pretty unfortunate. This one can come in untapped. This might be just like kind of like my sort of like Takenuma slot. So then 1 more cut. Who do I want to cut? I have a decent amount of interaction. Do I want to cut a Rider? My 3-drop slot's pretty full, and he's pretty tough to just play on turn 2. I think I'll cut a Rider. So I need 2 of these. 2 Llanowar Wastes that I'm not going to open packs for, so we'll craft those. 2 Blooming Marsh that I'm not going to open packs for. And I'm kind of tempted to just play, or just open a couple more packs to get those Dread Knights, so I think I'm going to try. I'm going to save and exit. Yep, that's fine. What happened? Okay. Packs. I'm going to open, I guess, 3. Mythic pack. I still don't know the difference between a mythic pack and a regular pack. So I'm just going to open 3 regulars. See if I can get lucky. I think I have the rare wild cards regardless, though. Okay. Defense of the Heart, Virtue of Loyalty. This card's really good. But yeah, I played against a Naya Adventures deck the other day. I think it was last night after I got home. And it was using Pia to trigger off of casting the adventure creatures. Oh, that card's really good. We're just gonna go finish it. Yeah, I have 2. Yeah, it's using Pia to trigger off of Showdown of the Scalds, but also casting the adventure card, the main card, the creature or the enchantment, from exile, and that was pretty tough. I think I was able to Thrill Seeker my way to a win, but it was pretty. It was not. It was a little closer than I expected, and for someone who had like a bunch of 3-mana cards. So let's play. Let's try this out. Oh, hold on. We have to edit it. We have to make Dread Knight the face. Okay. So let's play. See how this goes. Could easily go pretty poorly. I wonder if I should have a Questing Beast as also a top-end card to find off of Huntsman. It might be a little too cute. Let's see. Okay, what do we got here? A pretty painful turn to Glissa. We have a little bit of interaction. They mulliganed. This hand is pretty painful if my elf dies, but double Glissa is pretty nice. The second one just being insurance, and we can kind of answer something that they're doing since we're on the draw. So I'm going to keep it, see how this goes. So they're likely to... Okay, so these... Alright, so we're going to go Blooming Marsh, Elf. I think these Fatal Pushes are going to be pretty dead considering they led with Irrigated Farmland, which makes me think they're on some sort of blue-white deck. You know, obviously, but something that has few creatures. Like this, we're going to play Glissa. Hope it doesn't get counterspelled, which I think it will, but that's also a good reason to keep this hand because I have something to do with... I will have something to do with the second Glissa. They might just be struggling to hit a third land here. Oh, okay. They are, I guess, regretting that they didn't march. Maybe they have a negate in hand and they were expecting me to play Saga or something. We can go to combat. I'm probably going to draw a card with the Glissa. Draw a card. Lose a life. So fortunately, I'm not drawing any lands that are too great. I don't really want to extend into a Supreme Verdict here by playing the Ooze out, and the Ooze is just going to be a 2-2. I think I'm just going to try and cruise on the Glissa for as long as I can. Impulse, sure. I think they're the Lotus deck, because I think the Lotus Field deck, so I think they're... Because I think that's the version that plays Impulse, because it needs to assemble, like, Proctor. Pass attack, it's my turn. Go to combat, attack. Lose a life, draw a card. Okay. So, in order to continue to take cards out of my hand, I'm going to play Tapped Tomb and an Elf. So this way, if I play into a Supreme Verdict here, the Scavenging Muse that I can follow up with can grow to be at least a 4/4. Teferi's pretty good. They're probably going to tuck this. Okay, they're just really, really weak. They get to untap 2 things, though, and hold up counter magic. Card. Yep, you can untap your stuff. Go on my turn. Thoughtseize, pretty good. I think I'm going to lead on the Thoughtseize, see what they have going on. So they have a second Teferi, and they have the Discontinuities, which is expected. Because since I put them on Lotus already, I knew these were kind of here. I think I want to take Teferi, kind of, and then prioritize killing this Teferi. I'm gonna do a battlefield. Yeah, I can lose up to 3 counters to target permanent, so I can start like draining the Teferi while attacking. So I think I want to take this one and hope they don't get anything else. Maybe take the Discontinuity so I'm not getting time walked a bunch. and just leave them with a Teferi. I think I'll do that. Go to combat. It really sucks leaving them with the hero. I'm not sure what I want to do here. I could take counters off the Teferi, or I can draw a card, try and draw Second Thoughtseize. Or I could try to draw Murderous Rider, which gets hit with a Dovin's Veto, which kind of blows. Ugh. I think I have to just try and get 2 combat steps and take counters off Teferi.
I won't let you win.
And then go to regular damage. I've never resolved Lissa before, so this is really weird. Play that. Do I play Ooze here, try and pressure them a little further? We have... I don't think so. I thought with Glissa. I don't think that gets me anywhere, really. Maybe I just have to force... Yeah. I think I just have to, like, make this clock as fast as possible. Yeah.
We need to move quickly.
If they miss on lands, I do get to... Okay. They can still find a land. I think they can easily find a land off this. So then they get to untap the 2 from Teferi, and they can just discontinuity in my upkeep. Unless they find only a tap land, like an irrigated farmland, or Jawari Ruins, because now they're only going to have 5 mana on my turn. I guess I can... That's not even worth it. Yeah, it's fine. Now they're only going to have 5 mana. Go to my turn. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I can pull the last 3 counters off the Teferi, put them in this weird discontinuity loop. I can only deal... I can play this, exile to the Ooze, deal them 7, put them to 3. I don't think that's good enough. So we're going to go to combat. We're going to attack everything up here. Okay, they're going to destroy my Glissa. That's fine. I'm going to activate Ooze before combat damage. Exile my Glissa. Deal 4. Crack this. Cottage is not great. I can redeploy a Glissa knowing exactly what's in their hand. Which I think is fine. I don't think it's getting better. I think this matchup pre-board is just so poor with all these fatal pushes.
You know what? I'm not.
They're going to be up, I think, 4 or 5 cards by the end of this exchange overall. Get to untap that, and might just upkeep. They can end my turn. Yeah, they've already put the stop in. They already know what they want. That is fine. Can't do anything about that. Because now they get the draw step, they get the plus a second time. They're going to be up 2 draw steps and 2 activations, so they're up 4 cards now. I can exile the Deluge with the Ooze at least, so maybe the Ooze wasn't a bad draw this game. Proctor. That's fine, I guess. I think I'll just, like, exile Deluge now. Proctor's fine. Second Proctor's fine. Now I get to just push. Push. exile their creatures with these. That was weird. I didn't expect to win that game. Okay, so what are we bringing in here? We're going to bring in the end, because they are pretty light on ways to actually conclude a game. We're going to bring in the rest. And I think this might be a decent matchup for Go Blank. It's really bad when you're behind, though. This is an awful matchup for Fatal Push. What else can I cut? Ooze having a weirdly decent amount of text. Liberator, I'm not certain. I don't think I want this. The rest all seems pretty decent. This might be a good spot to board out Mystics, but I think my game plan is a little too hard on meeting a Mystic early. Maybe I can bring in Terra Sunder? Like one copy seems fine as a hedge. It can always tag it to Fairy, which I think they're pretty dependent on to win. And maybe I just cut a Mystic because it's so poor in the late. Yeah, we'll just go with one of these. 7 discard spells, 7 elves. Alright. Elf into Huntsman, into... Probably sacrifice the elf to look for Shieldred, I guess? Read on Tune. I'll keep. We're gonna pay 2 life. We're gonna lead on an elf. Oh, I should put Legion's Enemy. I know I have one because I crafted it for the other deck, Rectus. Blooming Marsh. Do I play into a soft counterspell here with the Huntsman's Redemption, or do I go Elf? I think I should have, if I'm going to go Elf, I should have played the Cottage first, played Blooming Marsh on turn 3. I think because I played the Blooming Marsh, I should just jam this and hope for the best. They might only have an Impulse here, and are just kind of bluffing a 2-mana counterspell, or they could have a Veto. I think they have an Impulse, and they're just kind of bluffing. Yep, there's the Impulse. I think they let it hang in the air a little too long. So I put a stop here, so this way when this second ability goes on the stack, I can hold priority and float mana with my Mystic. Okay. Priority, we're going to float some green. Then I'm going to go to resolve this. I'm going to sacrifice a Mystic. Do I just want to get a Shieldred here? Do I just want to get a Shieldred? So then I can just jam Shieldred next turn, attack for a bunch. Shieldred might be the best on this type of a board as well. So I think I'm going to get it. I'll see how good this sequence is as well. It's a pretty good time to do that. I'm going to play Pathway on the green side, play Shieldred, attack for 3. I'm just hoping the Shieldred can get me there, and that they're going to have to cast a lot of ways to draw cards to dig out of it. It certainly seems pretty good against Teferi. If they play Teferi, though, and tuck the Shieldred, I'm in trouble, and then I only get half of the Chapter 3 off the Huntsman. If they play Farewell here, that's pretty bad for me, because then they're up a ton of mana. They're up 6 mana to my 3. I can, like, kind of keep going by going Dread Whispers into Dread Knight. Here's Teferi, probably going to tuck the Shieldred. They can use the Proctor just to run cover for Teferi. Yeah, I kind of thought so. Yeah, definitely making... Kind of nice, though. The Trample lets me push through the Proctor and kill the Teferi. That is not something I considered unless they have a March. I don't know, I don't believe them. We're going to go to combat. I'm going to attack. I think they have a March. I'm going to Dread Whispers here, get a card, play Pathway on the black side, play Dread Knight. Not exactly the most threatening use of 4 mana to just play a 3-2 that draws a card. Dream Trawler. Okay, so now I need to draw I can't even say. Oh, okay. Never mind. I can just play Shieldred this turn. Yep. It's going to be just Shieldred into tapped cottage. I'm not going to attack into the Trawler. But if they... Dream Trawler is kind of weird against Shieldred. It's going to deal a lot of damage and gain a lot of life, but it's also going to draw cards, probably be a wash. So that's the Trawler is going to gain 5 life, but deal extra damage to the controller. I get to untap, attack with a bunch. They can't really cast a Farewell on the board with the Trawler. And my draw steps are really good. I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize here, see what happens. It might just discontinuity me. Which would be pretty poor. Yeah, I kind of thought this coming. I should have played a land, but you know, it is what it is. I wonder if I should have entered combat. I never know when they're going to pull the trigger on the discontinuity. I'm going to play my pathway on the green side. Yeah, this is so strange. What are they doing here? This doesn't count for draw, so it's not going to buff the Trawler. Unless they're looking for... I wonder what they're looking for. Are they looking for a large instant speed card draw spell? I think that would be. Are they looking for untapped land to fairy? My turn. Draw card. I'm going to cast Dread Whispers. I wonder if I should have animated the cottage. I want to say no. I'm just going to go to combat. Wandering River is pretty lame.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming.
So the Shieldred.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
I think this game might be out of reach now. Play Dread Knight. I think I'm just going to play a pair of elves. Ooh, Proctor. 2/4 Proctor's way better than a 1/3. Draw a couple more cards. Yeah, I think this one's done. We can save a little time. We can go to the game 3. Okay, so what did we see that game? I think this might be, on the play, Go Blank might be a little better. Tear Sunder is still fine, I think. 4 mana against the Dream Trawler just for them to discard a card is probably too much. They boarded into a lot more threats. I probably just didn't see the Wandering Emperor the first game. What else? What else do I want? I'm still going to leave in the end, though. Because those kinds of Hero's Downfall effects, like Murderous Rider in the end, to remove creatures and planeswalkers are basically all I wanted. To cut Ooze? No, I think maybe. I think, yeah, I can cut one of those. I think I want to bring in the Elf again on the play. They seem pretty light on ways to answer it efficiently. And I think I can cut a Dread Knight. Because I think I just want to skip the turn 2 here. Just go with this. Play first. What do we got here? It's a bunch of nothing. 2 elves and some lands. So we're gonna mulligan. This hand is a little suspect. I think I'm gonna keep it. Two lands and elf. The end and the rider. I think I'm gonna put the rider back, keep the end, because I think it'd be just a little more high impact. I think I'm gonna hit my 4th land by the time I need to cast the end. So we're gonna lead on Blooming Marsh, elf. Hoping that a turn 2 Glissa on the play is gonna be enough to get us there. We're gonna play Pathway on black, and we're gonna play Glissa. So far, so good. I'm hoping I don't get just tagged with some removal spell here on the Glissa. Okay, so we're going to go to combat. I'm going to attack with the Glissa. Awesome. I'm going to draw a card. Duress, that's pretty nice. So I'm going to Duress them, see what's happening. A lot of things. It looks like they're hoping... I think I take the Verdict here because it's probably their best way back into the game. Treading water with the Deluges doesn't seem great, and if they play a First Fairy, I can just end it. I think this is the best card for them right now, and knowledge of the other two are important. Hindsight, should have attacked the Elvish Mystic, hoping it doesn't cost me anything. Proctor, okay. I don't really want to end the Proctor. It's going to be an annoying road bump, though. This sets up a lot of draws for them. Maybe I can get a... Maybe they'll just block. I'm going to stick the Shieldred regardless. So let's see if they block. Interesting. I didn't expect that. I'm going to draw a card and use life. Good luck. I'm going to play my land. Do I end the Proctor and deny them the Lotus Field as a draw they can find? They have to play land into Deluge and then I can tag it. I think sticking the Shieldred might be a little better here. Because they just look very behind. And this is a pretty aggressive line to take. If they miss on a land drop, I'm definitely ending the Proctor. They found one. Okay, they took some damage, so that means they're going to cast Deluge. I'm going to get to attack for 7. They'll go to 1. So I think... Oh, no, they're dead. Okay. Because I get to attack with the elf too, because there's not going to be a blocker. Graveyard, hand, library. So there's 2 farewells. What else can they draw to? Oh, they have gusts, which are pretty soft against my black creatures. Tail's End is pretty good against me, though. Rijawari. Cool. Okay. I'm wondering if there's any better solution or any better way to build around Glissa and the Huntsman's Redemption, or if this is just it. I feel like my 2-drop slot is lacking, but I think it's still fine. Let's try another matchup. Hopefully something that's a little less precarious to play against than the blue-white Lotus Field deck. Because that one's just kind of stressful. Long queue. Today was a maximum comfy day for me. I woke up and started playing Stardew Valley, and I've just been enjoying that recently. This hand looks pretty good. It's kind of like a rock hand, but it's Thoughtseize to Dread Knight. I'm gonna keep. Just gonna put the tomb on the bottom, play Fastland. Worst case, I can use the items as I land. This is not ideal though. Let's see what they're doing. Mono black. Virtue looks pretty good. Awkwardly, I don't have an answer for Sheoldred. Curious. I think I just kind of let them do the exchanges with some of these other cards. I think I have to take the Sheoldred just because I can't do anything about it right now. The Virtue's looking nice, though. Maybe I want some none of those. Oh, excuse me. Gonna draw a card. Use a land. Okay, it's pretty cool. Now we can answer a threat in some amount. Fine.
Something suspicious is going on.
Player discards a card. I actually don't really want the Fatal Push. I think I'll throw that in the trash. I'm going to play 2 threats here. I think they're going to be able to Virtue and just like double removal me. Maybe that's fine. Maybe I just want to go Dread Knight into Elf, let them Edict the Elf. Let's play this. Dual Dread Whispers. Elf. And then now I don't know what they're supposed to do. Because if they plus... Because I think Edicting the Elf is pretty weak. If I go untap land and go Dread Knight, it just seems so unreasonably bad for them. It looks like they might be missing a land. Each player discards. I think I'm going to discard Blooming Marsh, play the Agadeems untapped so I can play double Dread Knight. They're discarding. I go, yeah, they're doing that. And I drew an untapped land. Play 2 life. Dread Knight. Dread Knight. So now they need Edict plus removal spell. I wonder if this deck wants Misery's Shadow.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
So now I have Dread Whispers until the end of my next turn. Oh wow, that's such a good sequence. That took everything from me. I get to like kill the Liliana, but it's like a major at full cost.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
I still have this Dread Knight rolling though. Ooh, Sheoldred's really good here. Just jam a Glissa. I can attack here, make them block Dread Whispers. I don't think that's good though, because they have the Sheoldred that's just going to kill me very quickly. Alright, so unfortunately for them, I drew Glissa once more to their Virtue, so they have like nothing going on, and hopefully this Glissa can kind of like dig me out. Do I want to hold a Llanowar Waste in my hand? I think I do. because now I have a, yeah, I can just kind of throw this Llanowar Wastes away and hold this Mutavault. Kind of insulates me against that Gaia Reach situation. Listen, if they play a Waste Knot here, wow. I'm at 7 and they conceded. They must have something that just is pretty bad. Okay, so what do I want here? I think I know by and large what they're doing. I think they're a Waste Knot deck because they have the Gaia Reach Sanitarium and they're mono black. So I think the End is a pretty good removal spell here because they have the Shieldreds and stuff. Do I want to go blank them? I want to say no, I just shouldn't be fighting on that axis. I think Duress is pretty good here. Fatal Push I think is pretty poor. The Dread Knight seemed very good here. Outland Liberator I think is pretty strong. Ooze I think might be pretty weak. Outland Liberator being able to just hit Waste Knot, and if it ever gets to flip and become a Dragon Predator, it's a fast clock, but also kind of dismantles what they're doing. Glissa looking pretty strong. Do I want Terrace Under? I think because I know they're on some amount of Waste Knot stuff, and this can be kicked. This is just very versatile in the matchup, so I think I might want some amount of this. 3 seems like it might be a little ambitious. Maybe I only want 2 Duress. The Elves seem pretty good at getting ahead, and maybe I only want 2 Tears. 3 Tear in the sideboard is, I think, maybe a little high. And then, what else can I do? I think in this kind of a... Here, I'm going to go up to 3 Tears, 2 Elves, and cut 2 Elves. Because I think these are just pretty bad to draw against the Thoughtseize deck. When the game is going to go that long, and we're going to be playing off the top of the deck, I don't really want to be drawing things like... Only 2 Duress, because I don't want to be drawing 2 Duresses, but I want them early. And same kind of principle with the Elves. I want the top of my deck to be strong enough. Like, I want to be able to draw Terrace Under and kick it off the top in the face of a Shieldred. This hand is pretty bad because it has 1 land. It has a Duress, though, but the pathway kind of makes the Elf Duress hand with 1 land pretty awkward. So we're going to mulligan. This hand is not too much more impressive, but it has a Dread Knight and some Elves. So I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put a Tomb on the bottom. This lets me go Blooming Marsh into Elf and then play either second Elf or do the Dread Whispers. Thoughtseize probably going to take the Dread Knight here, which is going to put me on mostly mana. Yeah, easy pick for them. Blooming Marsh into Elf. They knew all about that. Even just doing the Dread Knight that one game made me kind of a little more curious about playing Dread Knight in Modern. Okay, this is cool. Bankbuster I totally forgot about, but it makes me really happy I brought in the Terrace Unders. I'm wondering if I just want to Beseiju the Bankbuster here so they can't pull ahead on cards. The Murderous Rider should be pretty good at catching me up on stuff. So I think I am going to do that. I think I'm going to just go Forest, Elf, Beseiju, Channel on the Bankbuster. I can't let them start... I can't let them potentially have, like, 4/4 and also drawing 3 cards up on me in this kind of attrition-based matchup. I don't like giving them the extra land, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Unfortunately, with the way I sequenced my lands this game by playing the Forest here, I think I should have played the Overgrown Tomb. So if they go 4th land Shieldred here, I would be able to, in my upkeep, Swift End
Nobody knows
the
how
what's
gnarly the
face.
shadows
Okay, so doing that.
One of your friends has to leave.
Do I want to play Murderous Rider as a spell, as an instant, or a creature? I think I just want to play it as a 2-power creature here. So I can threaten the Liliana. I think I should have actually just killed the Liliana. I'm very silly. I should have just cast it as a removal spell. Oh no. That's okay. We're not perfect. At least not. They're going to make some mana here. So they're going to have access to 4 mana. So they can just play Shieldred. So if their last spell, if their last card is a good 4 mana card, I don't know what they're going to assume is going on here. Make some mana. Activate Gaia Reach. Okay. They get a zombie. It's pretty good. So now the Liliana's just gonna get to Edict my rider? That's like not good. Play the black side so they don't have anything to Gaia Reach me. But they have the Gaia Reach on the Wasteland, so that's like kind of the combo here. Hoping their hand at the top of their deck is just all dead, I guess. And that I'm milling into lands. Regular sacrifice creature, it's fine. Sacrifice this, put it on the bottom.
Sacrifices must be made.
It's fine. Okay, so they're gonna draw a card. They're gonna be up on a lot of resources here. And they're flooding pretty hard. They've discarded lands to that quite a bit. I can reanimate a Llanowar Elf here, which is not great. But it's probably better than playing this as a land. X equals 1. Let's get back Elvish Mystic. I think this one's pretty close to over. I just have so little going on.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers. Ah, one of
I'm
your
just gonna
friends
Gaia
has
Reach
to
me
leave.
in my upkeep. Okay. I'll concede there without them seeing the Huntsman's. Hopefully they didn't see it. Okay, so I'm on the play. This might be a decent spot to go blank them, but I kind of don't think so. I think I want the last duress, though. I think I can go down on elves. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm pretty happy to have the 3 Terra Sunders here, at least. I think the game may have been different if I didn't mess up and play the Rider as a creature instead of casting it as a spell. That is entirely on me, though, overthinking it. So we're going to play first. We have Elf and discard spell. So I'm going to lead with an Elf here. If they Fatal Push it, I get to just follow up with the discard spell on a land. I think there's a lot of upside here to have the Redemption or Blissa on turn 2. I'm probably going to play the Redemption. So we're going to keep. Big Life, Elf. There's also a really weird predicament for the black decks, because now they have to decide if they want to Fatal Push the Elf, or if they want to use a discard. Alright, so we're going to Thoughtseize here, see what happens. Okay, so they have a Go for the Throat, a Wasteland, and a Liliana. They're easily going to use the Go for the Throat on the Elf. I don't know how good of a solution that is. I think I'm going to take the Wasteland here. I feel like I can fight through a Liliana, and Go for the Throat is likely just going to tag an Elf. Otherwise, they're just going to play the Wasteland on turn 2, I think, if I leave them with that. But I won't have a lot of good answers to it right now. A neutral land, Mutavault, pretty good. They're going to play Liliana Edict. I can't do anything with the Rider. I think I'm going to play this. It's really awkward because I just have to pick what gets fed to the Liliana at this point.
Something suspicious is going on.
And I can kill it with the Mutavault. So I can animate Vault, attack, put the Liliana down, play land. And then, depending on what they do, I might just upkeep, animate the Mutavault so I get something out of the Huntsman. But even still, that might be wrong. This might just be an awkward turn. An awkward game and sequence of everything for the
I knew
Huntsman.
this was a waste of time.
Alright, so they're holding up the field. I think they're hoping to tag my Mutavault, so I think I just have to let the Huntsman go with minimal impact this game. Just being a 3-mana 3/3. I'm going to go Duress Glissa, I think, trying to strip any amount of removal they have, so I can safely stick a Glissa. And then on the following turn, if they play a blocker, I can just Murderous Rider it. Alright, they are all lands. Which means they're going to be able to animate the Hive, but the Glissa is still going to be able to fight through it. They might just field the Mutavault, it looks like, or activate the castle. That's fine. I'm going to go get a Black Source. So this way we can ease the burden on this Murderous Rider cost. Alright, so there's that one of those many swamps we know about. Oh, this is great, because the Glissa just gets to eat the Waste Knot now. I don't know if it's better for me to draw a card, but I feel kind of pretty secure with the Murderous Rider, so I think I just want to kill the Waste Knot in this situation. So now if they animate the Hive, I can kill it with the Murderous Rider. This is a really costly draw. They're probably hoping the draw will go for the throat. Go to combat, we're going to attack. I'm going to get a card. I like that. Okay. I'm going to play Dark Boar on the black side, and then I'm going to play an Outland Liberator, hoping that I can have them do nothing on their turn and get this to flip, while also holding up the Murderous Rider, because then that will make it a 2-turn clock, because it'll be 6 power on 2 combat steps. Ooh, that's really good. Okay. So, did they choose all of the modes? So, because they chose all the modes to make me discard, I'm going to use the Swift End on my Outland Liberator. Lose 2 life, but it hides the Murderous Rider in exile, so that when this resolves, the Murderous Rider won't get discarded from my hand because he's hiding on the adventure. And this lets me cast it and still have something in play. Not the Glissa and the Outland Liberator that I would prefer, but I'll take what I can get. Okay, they're going to draw a card, lose life equal to the number of cards in their hand, so they're going to lose the 1. They have 4 mana, so I don't know what this could be. They can't block with the Hive. There's that changing into Night that I kind of alluded to when I played the Outland Liberator. We're going to attack with the Rider. The Terra Sunder notably cannot exile the Hive when it's animated. It can only exile target non-land permanent. So, a little odd. I'm wondering if I want to hold the Terra Sunder to tag whatever they are able to play and not play a removal spell. But I think the Shieldred might just be strong enough, and I might just be far enough ahead. I can still cast a Terra Sunder in my upkeep. This puts them to 2, so now they have to answer both creatures, or present enough blockers, or kill Shieldred, present blocker for Murderous Rider. It locks them out of using the castle. Meat hooked for 5. That's pretty good. They needed something very close to that. Murderous Rider is going to get tucked on the bottom. Awesome. Here's a Glissa. Go blank. Pretty annoying here. I'm going to fire off the Terra Sunder. They can kill the Glissa in response now, get the Meat Hook trigger. This is better, I guess, than using the Terra Sunder than getting it just exiled from my hand. Or put in the discard pot, or put in the graveyard and then exiled, so. They might activate the castle, look for an answer. The Glissa is now able to be blocked by the Hive and save them, but the Hive will die because we have First Strike and Death Touch. I think I just have to make them do it. This is not something they want to do, by the way. Post-combat, now that they're kind of tapped out, I can play this, deploy a second threat as the Dread Knight. There we go blank again. Activate Castle here, now they're dead to both threats on the table. This is a good game situation. That game was pretty close. Or both of our games were pretty close, I think. Glissa and Dread Knight, I think, have been looking pretty good so far. Huntsman's Redemption might be the wrong direction to take this particular deck compared to the Gruul deck, but I'm enjoying that card regardless. Ooh, a pack. What do we got? Ooh, a rare wild card. Not a bad night so far. I'm wondering how I can maximize Huntsman's Redemption. I'm still interested in playing an adventure-heavy deck, but there's nothing really that synergizes with casting spells from the exile in black and blue. There's still Edgewall Innkeeper, but I don't think this deck is terribly hurting for cards in hand. Very unsure. The Elves might be a little bit of a wrong direction. The Elves might be packaged with Huntsman's Redemption. I think we're going to go Dark Boar, Thoughtseize, Boseiju, Dread Whispers this game. Possibly second Thoughtseize on turn 2, depending on what I see. This hand looks pretty decent. Being able to present something like Dread Knight and have the Huntsman's Redemption to go along with it is pretty nice. They're leading on Rafine's Tower, so I'm actually not entirely certain what that means. I want to say it's probably some sort of domain deck, so they might be soft to Thoughtseize. Oh no, it's just another variant of the Lotus deck. So what are we doing here? I like to change the equations in the main here, by the way. It doesn't counter something like Shieldred, but that might be fine. I think I'm going to take the Proctor. It's just something that they can easily play on turn 2 and set up a really powerful turn 3, and I don't have a lethal spell on hand. I'm going to... Do I Thoughtseize them again? Or do I just cast the Dread Whispers? I think next turn, because I'm going to play the Boseiju and Elf, I'm going to have 4 mana to work with, so I'll be able to pretty safely Dread Whispers, Dread Knight. So I think I'm going to leave it with the Thoughtseize here. I don't really want to let them have too many things. This might be a pretty poor use of a Thoughtseize, though. Looks like they might be considering to change the equation. Kind of awkward that I get the double spell before then. Ooh, I need to drink more water. I try so hard to watch my posture when I'm playing both in person and on the computer, but it still seems to never really matter much. So I think I'm going to play Huntsman this turn, get a 3/3, and then... Do I want to sacrifice anything? Do I want to play Dread Knight? To just use all my mana? Either that or I'm playing this untapped. What am I doing the following turn when I'm on 5 mana? Three power. Doesn't really make a difference. I'm gonna go with this just to use all 4 mana this turn instead of the New Resort playing a tap land. We're gonna play this. Dread Knight. Next turn I'm kind of still in the same play a tap land situation, but this gave me a little bit more of a crack at it. I could just attack for 4. Attack for 4, then play Huntsman, Llanowar Elf. I think I'm going to do that. This plays into a Wandering Emperor, but I don't know if they have one of those. It would have to be their last unknown. Do I just kind of extend into a Wrath? I don't think I've seen Supreme Verdict yet. I don't know what they're on. They might be on some sort of strange Black Wrath. This is a little annoying because I sequenced incorrectly and I'm playing into a soft counter now, like a Jawari Disruption, which is very possible that they have. They don't have the last 2 cards in hand, so they might be a little afraid of a Children. Or maybe they had to read the Huntsman's Redemption. Really enjoying these. I really like Dread Knight. I really like this card. I liked it when I saw it. I didn't think it was good enough for something like Modern, but as I'm playing with it in Pioneer, it does seem a little more unrelenting than on first impression. Or on first brush.
If you show remorse, we need to move quickly.
I bought some copies of this card today as well, and my other regular store has 4 of these set aside that I forgot to buy last week. Sacrifice a creature. Okay, so I have once again forgot to set the stop. I am going to sacrifice. I hate when I forget to set the stop. View battlefield. Do they have a Dovin's Veto? I can just view browser. I can get Murderous Rider. Just kill that. Green, black, black. I'm gonna put Llanowar Wastes into play so I can play around, I guess, 3 mana counter. We're gonna just play target creature. Or target creature for Planeswalker, just life. They have no protection in hand. Do I sacrifice a point of damage to cast a Rider? Or do I play second Huntsman's Redemption? I think I just want second Redemption. It's like kind of like Fable, where the best thing to follow up a Huntsman's Redemption with is another one. Let's put them to 10, and then I'm going to be able to make both of these 5 power, so I don't think this point matters. Okay, that's fine. This is still forcing a lot of action on their next turn. Not exposing the Rider to potential counterspell, or a potential Wrath as well is kind of nice. What are we going to do here? So what am I going to target? I guess I'm going to target, not the Beast. I think I'm going to target Elf Dread Knight? So this way they have a harder time exiling this with March. So it's definitely Elf. Actually, I think it's just both of these. I don't think I have to play around anything like that. I think I should be playing around Big Shark instead. And I think I just get to free attack everybody because Big Shark is not going to be blocking Elvish Mystic. Post combat, I just get to jam Rider. Wandering Emperor. Okay, so yeah, that was a reason to spread my.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
Spread the damage out. Okay, so if I played around Emperor, I would be on Elf and Dread Knight. Okay. So we're just gonna jam a Rider, and I'm gonna play Blue March. I don't think I put enough thought into what I target with the Chapter 3 there, but I'm just kind of over thinking about something like that right now. They're on pretty low resources. They can generate 1 blocker. I'll have a 1/1 and 2 power creature and a 3/3. The Samurai gets to block the 3/3. They go to 1. Unless I draw any form of interaction, including Fatal Push. A discard spell also won't do here. Okay, so they plus. Okay, so we're just in the discontinuity part of the game. Okay, so this makes it so they can keep the Planeswalker around and make a Samurai. So that's a pretty good sequence for them. Make a Samurai. Going into my turn, very similar spot. Okay, so they have a second one? Okay. So now what do? They plus on the Samurai, attack for 3. I decline to block. And similar situation where they're just going to be looking at 3 power because they're going to block 3/3 on the 3/3, take 3 from Elf and Rider. Losing 2 draw steps really sucks though. Discontinuity in your upkeep is just so obnoxious. I kind of want to try the Lotus Field combo deck that adopted the discontinuity tech from these decks. Okay, they named odd, so now it's just 3/3 versus a 3/3. Blockers, no blocks. Use that as first strike. They don't push. Nope. Do I want to attack into this? I think no. Ugh. Because now next turn they just get to make another samurai. They make a samurai, they attack. Still kill the 3/3. Attack into the 2/2. What is like my best option here? I think the best option is to just hold on to the 3/3, play a tap land. No attacks. I think attacking here is just cleaning up 3 power that they otherwise are having a little bit of difficulty. Because Deluge is 7 mana, that leaves them with 1 untapped. They're probably going to make a 2/2 here. I think if they try and make the Samurai into a 4/4, that's bad for them because it's just putting all their eggs in that basket. And they would have did that before attacking anyway.
We must protect the people.
Alright, so what I didn't want to draw was just another land. I have a lot in the deck though, so I don't think I can be too upset. No attacks. We're going to put a counter here if they don't find anything off the Deluge. And then they get to attack for 6. I'm not going to block. Well, I have to block 1, I think, at this point. Because then it leaves Dread Knight as an out. We're going to put a counter there. I think I'm going to block 3/3 on the 3/3. This way some of my cards that cost life can be outs. Because there's no way I can draw double spell. Okay, Ooze is pretty good. I can... How many creatures? Okay, I have a Llanowar Elf. What do they have? A Proctor. Okay, so I can play... land on the green side. Ooze. Oh, they probably just have a counterspell. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Good enough. Leading with the land, I think, was a little bit incorrect there. I think this has been just kind of a bad matchup anyway. At least game 1. Cut an elf, go up to 3 duress, down to 7 elf. Bring in the ends. I don't think I want tear. I think this is how I boarded last time. Liberator's probably just fine as a guy. Maybe I want Hearse instead, because it's immune to the Supreme Verdicts and the Extinction events. We can try that and bring in a couple Hearses. I should probably have Bankbuster in the deck in some spot. That's probably another good 2. Dread Knight seems a little redundant with it, so maybe the Bankbuster's in the sideboard. Yeah, just 1 Hearse, I guess. Grew 2. I don't know. Maybe I just want the Liberator. Let's do this. Okay. Going first, I have a Duress and a Mystic. So I'm going to lead on the Mystic for momentum off the Blooming Marsh, and then I'm going to get to play just 2-drop and Duress. This hand is not ideal. It's a little bit lacking in power. But, you know, I don't know how much better I can get of a 6. Dread Knight helps a lot. So now I get to... ooh, a little bit awkward mana. The elves making green and needing this early black mana. Yeah, the elves feel a little iffy, but I wouldn't be able to like double spell anyway if it wasn't an elf. So do I hold the Duress? Or do I Dread Knight? I can Dread Knight off a forest to get 1 point in. But if I Dread Knight into a tap land, I'm going to wish I had that. Can't have it all. So I think I'm just going to do this if I can get a point. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a fighting each other in this deck. No white on their side. I'm going to lead with a Duress. Change the equation on the Duress. A little awkward. I don't know about that. But I'm going to get in a point with the Mystic, because I'm kind of already in for doing that. And I'm going to play Wastes 9. Okay. I'm surprised they countered my removal so aggressive, or my discard so aggressively. They missed a land, so I'm just gonna attack for 4. I don't have very much to follow up with. On 1, okay, so the Ooze is kind of like iffy here. I think I'm gonna play the tapped Blooming Marsh, hold the Rider in case they play a Proctor. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Instead, we'll probably just eat something out of the graveyard with the Ooze for free. That's pretty cool. Okay. Dread Knight's really cool. We're gonna do this. Gonna attack for 6. Post-combat cast a Dread Knight. Double tap land. I guess they have to go untap white land. Okay. They must have missed on another land. Play a 4-mana Wrath. On the draw, I think I still want to keep this setup. Go blank might have been like a play draw thing. I might have wanted that on the play. I don't think I necessarily want it on the draw though. I think I'll take cut the hearse, play a Liberator still, just so I can have a high enough creature density to put on the table. Okay, so I have a double Duress hand, so I can pretty safely stick a threat at some point. So I get to go Pathway into Duress. And this is on the draw, so I think I'm pretty likely to draw a 3rd land. I'm gonna lead on Pathway, Duress, and then I'm gonna be able to go Duress Mystic the following turn. So we're gonna play Blackside, Duress you. Can't take the Proctor awkwardly, but I can take Extinction Event, or take both Impulses. What is better? I think I have to leave them with 1 Impulse. And I think I just have to take the card that's going to be better against me in the long run, because I don't think I have a hand that's fast. Wow, not playing the Proctor. Really surprised. Okay, it's Duress. Do I take the March or the Impulse? The March is probably going to be good against what I'm doing, especially if I'm going to play a turn 3 Huntsman's Redemption. I think I'm going to do that. The Impulse gives them a lot of selection, though, so maybe I just do that, let them march my Beast token. Wastes. Mystic. Oh, well, they can always march the Elf, but I'm not super married to the Elf, because on turn 3, I can just play the Huntsman's. I think taking the Impulse gives them fewer looks at a Lotus Field, so that might be what I should be doing now, considering they already have the Proctor. Because if they're not doing Proctor Field on turn 3, like, a second Impulse could probably pretty easily let them do it on turn 4. If they play a Proctor here and just a tapped Fountain and nothing to follow it up with, as in a field, their worst nightmare is if I just draw Murderous Rider off the top. Alright, well, here's hoping we don't draw a Murderous Rider off the top. I drew Thoughtseize, so they properly dodged the Thoughtseize. So that's really good for them. Do I want to Whisper's Knight? Or do I want to Thoughtseize Huntsman's? I think Thoughtseize Huntsman's might be what I want, because I think I just want to keep them off of whatever action they're hoping to use. Extinction Event, if they name Even for my token, they're also going to lose their Proctor. So I think I'm going to take the Emperor, because the Emperor is shown to be pretty strong on the whole. So we're going to go Mutable, we're going to play Huntsman's. And I'm going to remember to set the stop so I can get rid of this Elvish Mystic and find a Murderous Rider, probably. Unless they're going to try and march the Huntsman's away. Ooh, Typhoon. They're going to try and just draw straight into the Lotus Field. Okay, it looks like they're planning on marching the token. No, they're just going to block it. The Beast with the Shark. Blue to green. Resolve this. We're going to sacrifice all the Mystic. I think I want to just go get the Murderous Rider, hit the Proctor before they can kind of like draw into the Lotus Field and start setting up. I know they don't have counter magic from my discard spells. I'm going to play a land. I'm going to make black mana. I'm going to make black mana. I'm going to flip end this Proctor. Lose 2. I think they're just constantly deciding if they want to use March on my token. I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to make them block. I'm going to make them either march or block me. I think I'm going to play Scavenging Ooze here, so this way I have 2 targets for Huntsman's Redemption. No, I don't think so. Because then that makes their Extinction Event really good, because it just eats 2 creatures. So I think I'm just going to use the Mutavault, and I'm going to just draw a card from his life. Shoulder's a pretty good get. Set this up, keep stop, in case they decide to Wrath here, and I have to animate the Mutavault, play Dread Knight. I think they're going to Wrath. Ooh, did they not float mana? Okay, so they're not going to Wrath. Oh, they're hoping I animate the Mutavault so they can march it. Instead, I'm just going to play Shieldred. We're going to draw. Blooming Marsh. Alright, so that's fine. We're going to give my Beast +2/+2. Go to combat. You can march my token. Not my Mutavault. And that's fine. So I'm going to play a tap land, and what do I want to play into this extinction event? I want to play an odd cost. So I think I'm going to play Ooze and start growing it. Because I want to hold the Shieldred for post-extinction. And I don't want to play the Dread Knight into it because it's just, I think, too free. I think next turn I can play Rider and start growing the Ooze some more. I don't really want to expose the Shieldred. I want the Shieldred to be the follow-up to the Wrath. Just gonna activate, go to 9, target Proctor. Go to my turn. The Sage is pretty good. Do I want to hold the Seiju for anything? No, I think I just want another Great Source. Next combat. I can animate this, I think, pretty freely. We're gonna make black and then animate. That's fine. So we get that 2 damage in. And I think here I can play Rider. Do they have any more dudes in here? No, just some stuff. Do I have dudes? I have 1. Okay. Oh no, I wish I played my Shieldred. Pass to attacks. I'm gonna exile my elf. This is not something I would want to target with Thagadine's Awakening anyway. I don't think I want to put my Mutavault in 6, so that's going to put them to 9. If I attack for 8, that puts them to 7. Okay, so that is like a 2-turn clock. I will cast the Dread Whispers first, see what I find. If I can find a Duress, then I can make sure the coast is clear. If they decide to veto this for some reason, change the equation. Okay. It's fine. So now I can, much more safely, animate this Mutavault. Enter combat, attack. Activate Ooze. I think I'll eat this out of the graveyard to get that extra point. Because now it's 6, so that's 3 Mutavault attacks if they decide to Wrath me. This Wrath is extremely awkward for them. They want to get the most value out of it, but I think they just need to use it as a 4-mana kill spell for Scavengers. Unless they smell the Shieldred on the other side of the board. Okay. What is that? Plat 2? Okay, that's neat. I think I might call it there, considering it's a week. A pseudo. Like, it's a weeknight, I guess. I guess you can count Sunday. Ooh. Alright, so let's do this first, though. We can do this on stream. Oh, how fitting. The Mosswood Dread Knight card style. Perfect. And the next one is the Beast Sleeve. Oh man, it's all coming together in Questing Druid. Another card I liked early on. I think last time I streamed I talked about this, but yeah, I like a lot of this. Ooh. Okay, before we finish. Finally, now that I have another Mythic wild card, I can craft the Hazoret that I've needed for this sideboard. I did some changes. I think I can cut a Gruul Charm. We can craft this Hazoret. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Okay. I like these decks. I'm not super keen on Pioneer, but I like both of these green decks. I don't know how well they fare against like the broader metagame, because Explorer is really not a real format. Do I have any good avatars that I can switch to? What?
Every
Do I have
tale
Oko?
about me is absolute nonsense and absolutely true.
We can use Oko for a bit. But yeah, so that is the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out for a little. It was, I'm still not like doing an introduction or like a sign off. It's still really awkward, kind of. I gotta, I guess, think of what I'm supposed to do for that. It's weird talking like that. But yeah, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you again, hopefully Tuesday. I kind of want to play this Dread Knight deck some more. And maybe a little Gruul? Who knows? And I will also report back with how Domain Scam Round 2 goes tomorrow night, hopefully. I pulled all the cards before I started streaming, so this way I can swap them in and out of regular Domain. It's really not that many different cards. It's probably like 20 cards, including the lands, and the lands you have to switch 6. So, anyway, thanks for stopping, thanks for hanging, and I'll see you again soon.